significant event such as Friday and, of course, what's occurred with the weekend. This is Shakeout Monday. You're going to be seeing 60 to 100 point candles on the NASDAQ. Do not play with big position sizing. One false move and you'll smoke months worth of progress, if not more. Final warning. Final warning. So I followed OM's guidance and told my wife that if I'm in the office after 12, don't come out after a few attempts. Shut the power. Yeah, 100%. You have to accountability. I'm not even joking, man. You understand it. Accountability. Accountability. All right, here we are. Market is now open. Welcome, YouTube. We have liquidity down to 6662 on ES. Already we get a data latency warning on Bookmap. We have 24,750, liquidity up to 24.9. And there we go. OM has me all excited now. I love it, Fritz. I love it. It's going to be a great day. Great day. Alrighty. It's going to be crazy stuff. We had almost 13 billion in negative notional on Friday, which was the most I've ever seen by far. And the reason why it's the most I've ever seen is because it's the most anyone has ever seen. It was historical. 24,757. I do anticipate them trying to punish those who are going to try to chase this long side. You know, they're seeing all this overnight action. They're getting all pumped up. They're all kicking themselves for not taking calls on Friday. They're going to try to chase this upside, and I anticipate some punishment. So we will see. What's up, YouTube? Man flu means I can. You have the man flu. Are you saying man flu, or are you man, comma flu means I can't watch hello? I have been accused of having man flu before, but I disagree. I say nay, nay. 65 million calls, 154 million puts. Play the 3C. There's been some beautiful 3C opportunities this pre-market session. In fact, this pre-market session has been extraordinary. It's even been better to trade than the past couple of weeks of our actual regular session, New York session price action. And the 3Cs have been working beautifully well for a while now. So let's carve out this range. Carve out this range. Trump is off to Israel. In fact, I think he's already in Israel to negotiate more war deals. Right here. I'm going to switch over to my price action charts, otherwise known as just charts. There we go. You let it shake out. Let it do its thing. There ain't no rush. There ain't no rush. This is the battle. I received my funds from TPT today. I've been transferred to Pro Plus. No kidding. You got transferred to live on all accounts. Beautiful. Well done, Chris. Take it slow, baby. Now you're in the ballpark. And now, in my opinion, in your situation right now, Chris, you are in the best prop firm account in the entire prop firm industry. TPT, in my opinion, once you get to that level, is the best prop firm in the industry. Daily payouts, 90-10 split, no haggle, no hassle. Bada boom, bada bing, how's your mother? So be careful and relish it. Well done. All right, large red still selling off here. They're going to punish the shorts, or I'm sorry, they're going to punish the chasers. They're going to punish the chasers. All the way down, we have liquidity to 24,760. Already right there, that is a 60-point drop. What if he wants to sauerkraut it? I love it. We have the big kickoff liquidity at 24,781. Dropping back over. Dropping back over. Gold continues its historic rally. The only reason why gold is doing what it's doing is the fact that it's the only thing safe in an everything bubble. Everything's launched that we already know now. Real estate, stocks, Bitcoin, crypto, everything. is incredibly high in price. And the only thing safe when everything is in a bubble is gold. 41 is just launching. Look at the daily chart on gold. It's absolutely monstrous, and it's still going. Tapped 4,100 and kept going today. Oil is now down below 60, so that's nice for that. We do have a little bit of volume coming in, of course. Keep an eye there. But everything else, still doing what it's doing. Further downside move on NASDAQ as it pummels the late chasers on the long side all the way down. Just filled the last liquidity, 24,750. You're dealing with very quick candles. I wonder if gold's trying to catch up with inflation after doing nothing for years. Who knows, man? All I know is that it's doing something crazy. Watch, they're going to give the whole thing back in the morning session. Let's go, baby. Do it. Do it. I have someone here tilling up my fall garden, so I may have to stop out here for about 15 minutes or so here when he's done. So bear with me. Bear with me. $22,735, still drilling into the core of the earth so far. We are 110 points down and falling as NASDAQ is about to give it back, baby. It's giving it all back. We just tapped this little 7 o'clock in the morning low with volume. This is a point MMs could crush me if I got in and spin it long. That's crazy stuff, man. It's just going all the way down. Let's see if they can hammer this baby. Let's see what they can do. Good morning. I subscribed on your website yesterday, but I'm doing something wrong. There's no Discord. Okay. Let me get you a Discord link. There you go, Derek. High volume. That was the highest 1 minute volume candle of the day so far at the 9:35. We're still a little early. I want to let this thing shake out. Central banks now own more gold than bonds for the first time in a long time. Interesting. I read long ago that gold goes up when people are scared everything might crash. I know VIX is the de facto fear indicator, but I think gold's something similar. No, 100%. That's traditionally how gold is looked at in my very basic educated gold knowledge. That's traditionally how gold is played. So the 3 C's are still holding up in the face of volatility so far. Very early in the day, of course. The very highest volume candle of the day results so far in a 40-point bounce on NASDAQ. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. The 3 C's have worked beautifully well this entire overnight session. If you followed the high volume inflows, you should be doing just fine. Just fine. It's finally reflecting a lack of faith in the fiat monetary policy. I have a lack of faith in every government entity, government organization, government program, government process there is, including our current sitting president. It is time to go back to local bartering. More liquidity coming on down to 735. Top wick, 740. We have liquidity up to 25,100 and all the way down into 650. Still coming on down here. I've got 7 minutes before my time frame. If you look at we do have J-Powell talking tomorrow on monetary policy, so be on guard with J-Powell flapping his gums. We have a double tap bounce. Beautiful. Remember, high volume inflows typically result in a double bounce. Today we have wholesale trade at the top of the hour. It's a very minor one-star event, but it's still an event. I doubt the markets will really pay much attention to it. Tomorrow kicks off the volatility with Fed Chair Powell, and then, of course, CPI on Wednesday. I'm from the government. I'm here to help. Yeah. Yeah. Did you know the federal government actually picked up stock in 5 names? Just not Intel. I heard about that, yeah. I've had 10 pro accounts with TPT, but I can't seem to get past that dang trailing drawdown. You've got to take it slow. It's with that daily payout, with TPT, it's very tempting to want to hurry up and get to that drawdown, hit the buffer so you could start taking money out. And people size up and then they smoke their accounts. You've got to take it slow. The biggest downside of TPT is the fact that they do have a trailing drawdown, and I hate it. But once you get through that and get the buffer, TPT quickly becomes the best prop firm in the game. So if you could be patient and build up that buffer, you could have gravy train with biscuit wheels with TPT, man. Daily payouts. It's like your own money. It's like you're not even dealing with a prop firm at that point. It's the best thing the retail trader can do if you have a system. Sign up for TPT, get paid, and then fund your own personal brokerage account. I had a prop firm reach out to me that I've never heard of asking if they want me to affiliate. It's called, I'll let y'all think. Tell me what I need to do. Funding Pulse, spelt with the Z, P-U-L-Z-E, fundingpulse.com. Y'all go take a look and tell me if that's something I need to do. The website looked a little sketchy to me. I've never heard of it before. Are you using Trade Day? Nice. As soon as you said Z at the end, I'm going to say no. Yeah. I looked at the website. I was like, no, I'm good. It looked like somebody who doesn't have a good handle on the English language had written the website. All right, another bottom wick here. So we're kind of holding 760, 770. I tried replying to the payment receipt email. Yeah, so that happened when you reply to my email. It doesn't allow me to respond to it unless you include your own personal credentials. That's the problem. If you're in Discord, you can shoot me a DM. I'll get you hooked up. Let me go see if I can take a look. Hold on. I got a lot of irons in the fire right now. Red candles here, 746. Still top looking back over. Top step tilt is still long, as it's been long now for 4 days in a row. I don't think I've ever seen top step tilt actually be net short. Take that money, be sure to get up front in case solvency. Yep. Red candles still coming back over. The low of the day is 724 on NASDAQ. And on ES, it's 6662. Did y'all see that the all-time high of the 2007-2008 market crash was October 11th, 2007? It's kind of weird, isn't it? What if Friday was the high that we're going to see now for 2 years? Wouldn't that be some stuff? It's almost like it's just a game for them. It's just a game. I'm currently watching the 5-minute and the 1-minute chart at the same time, simultaneously. And I see bottom wicks on the 5. I see 1-minute green engulfings as they're still defending the 724 low. We are 2 minutes away from my trading time frame. Touche, Derek. Touche. $800. Still going. If we break Trump's hard at Friday, was the high of the year, let alone next 2 years. It would break Trump's heart if it was. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Well, I think we can all agree that there is phenomenal market fraud going on right now. What I've seen the past 3 days is absolutely atrocious in terms of market manipulation. So who knows really how well technicals is going to hold up to that kind of stuff in the next couple of years, because you're exactly right. If there's one thing that Trump will do everything in his power to protect, it's the stock market returns. So who knows? Who knows? And I don't really want to kick off a political conversation. I'm just saying there's obvious market manipulation here. I think everyone can attest to that. China firmly rejects the recent U.S. restriction to sanctions on China and will do everything necessary to protect its legitimate rights and interests. Threatening high tariffs is not the right way to deal with China. The U.S. should correct its approach and act on common understandings between the two presidents. We have liquidity up to 850 right now. We have a double bounce off of the Morning low with volume, so the 3 C's are intact here. Play the 3 C's. Is it fraud because of the shutdown? No, it's because of the tariff tweet, which somebody just inexplicably, like 2 minutes before the post, opened up a massive put position and made $190 million off of it. And yeah, and then we dumped the largest dump in 6 months. Still going, 808. The SEC will get to the bottom of that. Yeah. Yep, you are right. It will. It will. It'll handle that. I trust them. The 0DT options are quite flat. Whoa, big red candle. Look at that. Smoking everything, dude. You got to be careful. Don't play with size, baby. Look at that. That was a 40, 50 point candle on the 1 minute chart. Like, this is spicy. This is like Indian food level 5 spice. 24 hours before the tweet opened, an $80 million crypto account to short Bitcoin. Was up until 1 minute of the second tweet. Made $990 million. Yeah. I opened a put right before, but only because my call was going nowhere. There you go. There you go. I'm sure someone out there did very well with that move. Banks closed today, so people don't have settled funds from Friday. Yeah, the banks are closed today. Bond markets are closed today, so it's a perfect day for them to have a relief bounce. It is now 9:45, so I'm hunting. I'm hunting webbits. Hello again. What's up, Big Herc? In the last part of your name. Hope you're doing good this fine morning. I am. What indicators and tools do I use for entries? What you see here is what you get. So I use volume, which is the volume candles at the bottom. I use my morning range indicator, which is just all it does is plot the high and low for the day, the first hour. And that is it. Everything else is just strictly price action with volume. Learning how to read price action, learning how to read volume. I don't trade with anything else. Now, I do use Spot Gamma in Bookmap, which you see on the YouTube stream there. That's the option chain on the bottom left and the order book on the top left. But other than that, that's it. I lost my butt on crypto, but I don't leverage, so I don't think it'll come back. Yeah. The leverage is what got people wrecked. So a lot of people lost everything they've owned because they were using leverage. Now you could blame that on whoever. If you're using leverage and you get wiped, it's hard to have sympathy for you. You know, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. If you stick your hand in the blender when it's moving, I mean, you're going to cut your fingers off. So, you know. Yeah. All right, coming up again, green candles. They smoked the people trying to chase the longs at the open. They had a high volume 3C double bounce that is now looking to claim the high, which is 842. Taylor Swift fan. Me? I don't know. Did I accidentally say regurgitate some Taylor Swift lyrics? Because I don't know any of her songs. I did. I literally couldn't believe all the posts. I was only using 2x. Yeah, exactly. I was always using, like some people were using like 50x leverage. Yeah, it's crazy. All right, liquidity up to 850 still coming along here. Option chain is oddly quiet. In fact, I'm going to hit refresh because it's so quiet. That's weird. I'm a closet Swiftie. Hey, teardrops on my guitar, right? That's the only song I know of back in 2004. Statistically, which months are the worst for trading? It depends on what you mean for worst. If you like bearish activity, September and October and March are about your favorite. If you like bullish activity, December, June, early months of the year, so those are your best. So it really depends on really what you're looking for. If you have a daughter, you'll be a Tay-Tay fan. I don't know. We'll see. We don't listen to a lot of secular music here, so we'll see. I'm a bit spooked by this lack of market action this morning. I'm just chilling like a villain, man. My time will come. I've already taken a couple of great trades in pre-market trading. I've actually already demolished my daily goal. But I'm still looking for a high-quality entry this morning. rather drink a barrel of buzzard puke. Good morning, be diligent. That's right. Diligence earns you nothing and only protects you. I like it, math. What's up, buddy? How you doing? I am covered in poison ivy, which I don't normally get poison ivy, but I am covered with it. NASDAQ is scary. I think I'll trade gold today. Yeah, gold's been putting on some great moves too. Nice, beautiful 3C high volume bounces all day long. Oil, 3C high volume bounce on oil. I mean, if you play these 3C bounces, you should be just fine. There's plenty to play all over the place. What's silver doing? Silver is overnight quite green, but right now dealing with their range. NASDAQ is about to take another high here. 840. We have liquidity up to 940. Still going. They punished all the longs, and now they're climbing higher to grab liquidity. We have call buying and put selling on the option chain, so everything is setting up for a nice bull move so far. How many trades do I usually take per day? This is the NASDAQ chart, by the way. How many trades do I take per day? I usually take anywhere from 2 to 3 at the most. That's my high side. If I take 3 trades, then I'm 9.9 times out of 10, I'm going towards the lockout button or shutting off my brokerage. Unless there's a planned event or a predetermined reason why I need to keep things open. Which even then, I still have the misses coming out at 10 o'clock. Getting me to shut everything down. 7 trades a day is a bit high. It's a bit high. I'm not saying that's not terribly high. I've seen much worse. I've traded 7 times a day before, but it's a bit high. I would prefer you kind of trim that up a little bit. I like that you watch NASDAQ these days rather than SPY. Yeah, I'm back and forth, but I've been on NASDAQ for a couple months now. How my pre-market trades go? Very well. Very well. Still going nice and strong. No shorting until you see a high volume 3C top wick. Be very careful. Don't get caught with your pants down. I'm looking for a pretty decent healthy green reaction so I could tranche into my first swing put. Still going. 860 just took out the liquidity and they shifted up to 950. On NASDAQ, 950 would put us right at overnight highs. I'm just going to make breakfast. This whole thing has me saying no thank you. Nice little move up here. You see this beautiful trend? They're not breaking the trend. It's a very strong trend. Let's see where it goes. I'm just going to make breakfast. I already read that. What do you have for breakfast? Do I think SPX will head lower than 6150? Today or ever? Yes, I do. Today? No, obviously. But yes. You cannot have, unless something completely breaks, but my fundamental thinking tells me that you can't have what we've had the past couple of years without the other side. One comes with the other. You can't have euphoric squeeze historical bull action without historical inverse squeeze historical bear action. You can't have one without the other. It just doesn't. Every single time there's a big move like this, the bears take their pound of flesh. Now the whole trick is one, monetizing that, and two, timing that. It's very difficult to do so. So I 100% do not want to sit here and tell everyone to short, be a bear. Don't want to do that because that's very improbable that you're going to time it. What I am saying is that you have to understand the market cycles. And eventually, will we touch 6150? Yes, 100% we will. But I have no idea when it's going to be. It could be this week. It could be next year. It could be 5 years. I don't know. Heck, we could wake up and be at 61.50 on Friday. Who knows? So all I do is play market cycles, and I think this particular market cycle is teed up for a lower move, and I don't know how far. I don't know if it's going to be a 5% drawdown or 20% drawdown. I don't know. So yeah. We have 300 million in calls, 300 million in puts, neck and neck. Neck and neck. I made shakshuka with homemade sour. I don't know what that is, but I'm sure it's delicious. Can you give us a rough idea what you're looking at for a swing put? Yeah, probably mid to late November. Roughly 64.50 or so. Maybe 6,500. Nothing too crazy. Very conservative. Very. What I want to do is I want to have a put that, in the event that I'm wrong, there's still plenty of juice left on the premium for me to write a put and open up a PDS or a PCS. So that's why I don't want to take it up too aggressive, because if you take something too aggressive, the premium is going to decay very quickly, and you're not going to have an opportunity to protect the position or use leverage to write a put to spread the position. So I want to take something that's realistic and reasonable, yet still aggressive enough where I can make some money. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday on YouTube, and then I stream every day in the Discord server. All right, 6684. Looks like they're about to put another high in. We don't have an outlier volume spike in this area at 66.85. We're 4 minutes away from the top of the hour. Is anyone that I recommend for learning option swing trading? Yeah, me. I recommend me. All right, new high of the day, still going. That's a crazy question to ask. It's like going into like a Baskin Robbins and ask them, hey, which store do you recommend for ice cream? Marble Slab. Marble Slab. They still have marble slabs. Y'all remember marble slabs from the 2010s? I don't think I've seen one in a while. Of course, I don't really frequent ice cream shops. All right, coming up 24,880. Going new high of the day. No shorting unless you high volume inflow. We have no high volume, so you cannot short. Remain long biased. Play long side until you have a high volume inflow. These are beautiful, beautiful moves. Still going straight up. See these trend lines? It's crazy. Straight up. No volume, no short. That's what you need to say. You used to work at Marble Slab? Nice, Forrest. Since you cannot trade options on TPT, I assume you just take directional trades. What's your typical max point drawdown before you cut in? Well, I do take options trades, but on my IBKR, I have a personal brokerage as well. My typical stop out on NASDAQ is anywhere between 15 to 20 points, but it's really depending on a whole bunch of different options. Can you use VPA for swing trading? Yes, you can, absolutely. So, VPA is VPA regardless of what vehicle you use to trade. Options, futures, Forex, it doesn't matter. Anything that's got volume printed, you can trade VPA on, and you use whatever vehicle you use to trade options. I usually start putting on options for swing trades and or high volatility situations, because the time to trade options, if you're going to take the risk to trade options, the time to trade options is during volatile situations, because that's where you're going to get the most gamma explosion, thus big returns. So I don't want you sitting there just blasting options every day, because it's not sometimes options are just not conducive to profitability. Yep, we do have a CVD divergence, and we have liquidity up to 950, so I think they're going to be a nice shakeout today. Nice shakeout. Coming up 900. "40% of employees are reporting wasting 2 hours a day cleaning up AI-generated slop." Nice. Still going 900. No shorting unless you have volume. Your eyes need to be glued down here. Either play the upside or do nothing. Play the upside or do nothing. So the 15 to 20 point limit, you must be looking for 34. Yeah, that's what I initially shoot my target profit for, is 30 to 40 point range. 100% right. Very, very minor high volume flow, but not big. And we still have liquidity up to 937, 950. So I need higher volume on that, maybe a close, and we'll go from there. We have 700 million in calls, 320 million puts. Still going 900, 910, going up. We'll see what they want to do with this. A little bit more volume coming in. A little bit more volume coming in. Hanging out. The liquidity on Bookmap is quite light all over the place. We have a deep level of liquidity at 67.12, but it's all small potato stuff. There's nothing big on here. We don't have any like major 800 to 1,000 blocks or anything like that. We have a nice high volume top wick here on NASDAQ, right into the 900 area. If we get a right side of the V area, there could be a setup here. Could be. Let's see what we can do. Do you think it's better to buy in a market or limit? Never ever touch markets. Never ever touch markets. I guess only in emergent situations would you want to use market, and even then, I mean, if you're relying on markets to get out, then you're already in a bad spot. You might have already said it, but am I looking to short? I'm not looking to short, but I'm not going to sit here and try to time a short on this relentless bull. So I'm looking for volume, which we did just get volume. So this is the first opportunity. There we go. This is the first opportunity to possibly put on a short position. High volume, top wick into 900, and boom, all the way down we go. So follow the volume. No market orders for anything. In fact, you should completely forget about market orders for all of your trading needs. It's an awful thing to do, especially if you are on the sim. So if you are like trading props with the sim book, market orders are the worst thing you can do. You're going to shoot yourself in the foot before you even get in a trade. Beautiful, beautiful candle. All the way down. High volume 3Cs, baby. Please fix screen so I can see the chart. My bad. There we go. There you go, right there. Why on sim accounts? Because if you're on a simulated account, you're not on the real order book, so you're just going to get filled at whatever the simulated book tells you to be filled at. It's just terrible. There's a lot more slop on the sim book than there is on the order book, even still on the order book. Let's say you see a 3C sit up on the 5-minute. Where would you set your limit order to enter once you get the third C? That depends. So yeah, I mean, I see a reason why a lot of y'all initially struggle with entries, because if you're using market orders, man, you're doing it wrong. I would rather you miss an entry than take market orders, because you're literally going to get the ask every time. If you're trying to buy the dip, you're going to get the ask every time. If you put in a market order, you're going to get the highest price that there is liquidity every time you hit a market order. So you're going to be down 5 to, if not more, points on NASDAQ every single time you take an entry. Which, 5 points is not that big of a deal on NASDAQ, but that adds up, especially if you take a poor entry. What do I mean by 3 Cs? 3 Cs is the mechanism on which I trade. I call it the 3 criteria, and I truncate that down to 3 C's. What do you think about leap puts and sell monthlies against it? Not a terrible idea. I personally don't like doing leaps. However, in the way you put it is more of a calendar. I do like that. I think it's a great idea if you know how to do those type of trades. Limit orders make no sense though unless you are front running. Yeah, I disagree because every single one of my trades is limit order. Every single one of them. You just have to have an idea. So if you're sitting there with no idea what to do and all of a sudden you see a setup, yes, it's going to be very difficult to limit order. But if I'm willing and able and set up for a trade, which most of the time I am usually in front of the price action, which means I'm ready for the price action, limit order is not a problem. Now, I may have to adjust it a tick or two, but that's okay. But if I'm going to sit here and do nothing and all of a sudden, oh, there's green candle, I'm going to buy it, then yeah, of course you're going to miss the trade every single time. That's what the 3C is for. When I see the 3Cs beginning to unfold, like right now, I'm set up for it. I was set up for that short, didn't play out, but I'm ready for it. And if I see it, boom, we'll take it. So on and so forth. There are going to be times you miss trades altogether, which happens to me, but that's part of it. That's part of it. It's way better than doing market orders. Do you set a limit order after you see the high volume inflow? If I see the high volume inflow, it really depends on there are times where I will front run a high volume inflow, but there are times that I won't. Right now, I will not front run a high volume inflow because it's too volatile. So if I see a volume, if I see the wick, and if I see either a impending third C or confirmed third C, then I'll go ahead and put on my limit order and I'll just tick it up to where I need it to be. And then it'll fill, and then I immediately put on my stop. Immediately. And, depending on which brokerage you're using, if you're using click to trade, it's a little faster. If you're using IBKR, it's a little slower, but that's okay. I do think that ES is going to want to fill the 6712 area. We will see. You're welcome, King. Great questions, buddy. Great questions. We're about to put in 100 heads of garlic for the wintertime in our garden. I can't wait. Pumped. It's good stuff. Y'all ever had homegrown garlic? It's amazing. A little bit of red coming off. 5-minute candle. We have a bottom wick here. Here's the red candle left this small inflow of volume. Top wick with a red. You at least need to get under 886, if not the full 5-minute of 865. That's your decision. But so far, we can't even come close to attacking either one of those. So you got to chill if you want to short. If not, you have to remain long bias until that occurs. On the option chain, we have 424 million of calls, 530 million of puts. So the option chain is negative delta. Here's a horror story about stops that happened to me on Friday. I had a stop set on my credit spread for $2.15. The market went crazy, filled for $16. Yeah. So again, about stops, especially if you have market stops, is that people think that whatever stop you place is where you're going to get filled at. That's not the case. What a stop actually is a trigger to fill you at market price, which means whatever the liquidity is at the time that your stop alerts to go, hey, it sends the little hamster inside your brokerage account to go find whatever liquidity. That's what you get filled at. The hamster starts searching for liquidity. Hopefully not at Richard Gere's house. So there were people that set stops on Friday, and they got to fill that. That was like 100 points beyond their stop. It happens. So you got to be careful with your stops in volatile situations. Where do you see the number of calls and puts? I use Spot Gamma to do so, which this is Spot Gamma right here. That's what happened to the crypto folks, yeah. Can you explain a little bit how we need to get below? Yeah, good question. So what do we see here? If you are looking for short, and I want to be very, very, very careful talking about this because right now there's a very strong green trend. So I don't want to sit here and say short, short, short and talk about short stuff. But if you are looking for a short position, you at least need under the open, if not full on candle close of 862, the low of the candle. And that'll give you a full right side of the V. Because remember, whether you're going to play the bounce or play the rejection, you want to catch the right side of the V. So the right side of the V on NASDAQ is going to be about 860, below 866. And of course, with volume, of which we don't really have a lot of high volume up here. So the bulls are still very much in control of today's order book. So don't sit here and try to short this thinking you're going to get a massive drawdown until you see the signs. If you see the signs, do what you got to do. But right now, they can't even come close to attacking a lower low, which that's price action 101. Trend following 101 is lower lows, higher highs. If you want to see a trend shift, you at least need to anticipate a lower low, which we're not even getting. You brought up over. That's an old 90s rumor, wasn't it? I'm surprised anyone even caught that. I'm looking to open my first prop account. Do you recommend NinjaTrader or Trade of 8? Possibly TradingView. I don't like NinjaTrader myself. Trade of 8 is very basic. If you want something very basic and simple to use, Trade of 8 is your jam. I personally don't like it. It's a little clunky, but it's very basic. It serves its purpose. Bring me a higher love. Ooh. What we got? We have more puts than calls. They are pinning us up here into the 900 area. Still laughing, Richard Gere. I love it. I love it. Speaking of 90s rumors, did you know? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a crazy rumor. These rumors spread with no internet either. It was mouth to mouth right there. Word of mouth. So mouth to mouth is a weird way of putting word of mouth, but all right, still hanging out 900, no short positions until you see a volume spike. The bigger the move, the more volume it takes to stop the move. Right now, none of this volume really says, "Hey, it's time to go down." It's all, "Hey, let's look for upside here." 67.12 on ES. Nasdaq is coming up here too. 24,950. Up and up and up, baby. Up and up. Still no volume spike. They do not like 912, do they? You need to write a simple explanation of the C's to link to. Yeah, I do. I do. We have a little volume coming in. Of course, Trump's talking right now, right? So we could have some shenanigans. Large red candle. We have big time liquidity at 912. Could that be distribution on the 1 minute chart? Big volume. Bigly volume at 912. What about ES? ES does not have an appropriate level of liquidity that matches NASDAQ. But NASDAQ has big liquidity at 912. Massive. 618 million puts, 203 million calls. So far, there appears to be distributing up here. The closure below, yes. We're just kind of shaking out. I'm watching the 1 and the 5 simultaneously here. I've got the 5 minute up on my top step. I've got the 1 minute up on the stream that y'all are watching. Another massive liquidity at 925. See if they can go for it. What's up, Phil? How you doing? Bouncing. 890. Not wanting to get out of this little upper range here. You're welcome, Jake. You're welcome. Goldman Sachs has lost a dozen senior bankers. What do you mean by lost? Like fired? A little bit more green, still chilling. 883. Let's see what they want to do with this large red candle. So far, they're feeling lower. Do the M see you on the sim book? No, they don't. The sim book is not real. It's literally paper trading, but it's the prop firms will pay you based on the paper trading. Doesn't matter. Doesn't count. Tired newborn cried all night. Sorry to hear that, Phil. I know that's not easy. Remember those days. I do, Victor. Hey, Big Green. Going up to 912, 925. Still going. Extraordinary. Extraordinary. Let's go for 912, 925. No shorting unless you have a high volume 3C. I tell you it's fine, but it took me 5 years to get to sleep through the night. See what they took off that liquid. They took off the liquid. Top wick. They are shaking this thing back and forth. I'm sure y'all could see. Look at the 15-minute, the Kinsei. The Kinsei is nothing but dojis. Doji doji. And I don't mean the one you go fight MMAs with. Still going, baby. Still going. What's up, Will? How you doing? They removed all that big liquidity. They've been doing that now for a whole while. Putting on big liquidities and wiping them off. A couple of weeks now they've been doing that. $8.90. Back on. 1,200 orders on NASDAQ. Is that what you meant by spoofing? Yes, sir. 1,200 orders on NASDAQ. ES. Nothing yet, except 67.12, which is light. What are they going to do with this level? I don't know, man. It can go either way from here. It can go either way. The 5 minutes beginning to put on a distribution look, but they keep on defending this 872. They can't close the lower lows yet. So they want to make the market think a certain direction. Yeah, so they want to get people slacking. They want to get people trying to chase that 912 and then dump it. But look, he did it again. That's probably Trump. He's probably on his phone. He's like, hey. He's like, Kamala, come here. Come take a look at the order I just put on. Psych. Delete. My Trump impression is terrible, so I apologize. All right, 880. 222 million in calls, 690 million in puts. Aggressively bearish on the options chain. Aggressively bearish on the options chain. I don't know why he would call Kamala over there, but hey, whatever. First name that came to my mind. Top step is always long, yeah. It made me laugh. Nice liquidity, Lubu. Love it. Sound like Arnold trying to do a Trump voice? Probably. I'm too afraid of it to go into Friday's high, but also it going to Friday's low. Yeah, you and me both, brother. All right, nice little top wick here, still trickling. The option chain is bearish, or in a better word, it is delta negative So you take with that information what you will. Does anyone know if he only takes swing options or day? I take swing options and day trades. I'm actually going to take my first swing option in a while, either today or tomorrow. Still coming off. It's offensive that you assume that I'm a he. 24,860, top wick. Looking for a close under 870. Can they get it? Can they get it? If they can close this red candle, it'll be an interesting move. They're trying to expand and contract this candle like 87 times. There we go. 847. There goes 850. On down. We finally got a below a lower low. We don't have a crazy high amount of volume, though. That's the problem. We don't have a high volume inflow here. We have minor volume spikes, but nothing that's really screaming dumperoni. Now, the price action, we have top wick. We have finally a lower low. It could merit a small temporary put position or a short position, but it doesn't. They're not slamming the table saying we're about to dump it. There we go. There's 843, 845. Still extending lower. They're finally extending. 830 on down. How low can they go? How low can they go? I am going to have to take about a 15-minute break. I have to get the guy that's working on the property all settled up and out of here. She'll take me about 15 minutes, but you still want to buy the dip? Hey, if you want to buy the dip, that's perfectly acceptable. Sell the rip, buy the dip, doesn't matter. I'm keeping a very open mind today and playing whatever comes. And what that entails is 3C high volume inflows. Do I have a tiller? I don't yet. I haven't got a tractor yet because I don't have anywhere to put it. So I have 3 barns on the property, and none of which, they're all heavily dilapidated, and they don't have a place for me to store stuff. So I have to build a barn first, and then I'll get all the stuff I need. All right, coming off here 805, dropping from 866, large red engulfing candle. Still coming down. We finally got the 3C move. Now it's extending lower. 866 worked out like a charm, right? That's the level we were talking about. What happened when we got under 866? We got the close at the 1015 candle, and then now look what's happening. Extension under 866. The third C. Crucial. 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 Dumperoni candle. Beautiful. Where does that put us on the overall for the day? 1.7%, 414 points. That's my one play for the day on Top Step, hitting that lockout. Beautiful, Twizzy. Fantastic. Fantastic. Love it. High volume bottom wick right there. Let's see what that happens with that. So if I was short right there, consider your positions with that high volume bottom wick. All right, I have to step out real quick and handle this. I will be back as fast as I can, probably 10, 15 minutes. Don't go away. It's going to be quiet for a second. So keep yourselves accountable. Don't do anything stupid while I'm gone, and hopefully the market doesn't do anything crazy while I'm gone. But I'll be right back as fast as I can. Actually, I'm going to wait. He's not done yet, so it's going to be a minute. I don't want to waste time. All right, high volume bottom wick. You see the volume come in? Right there. Bottom wick back up. 843. Coming all the way back up. Already that is, 60 points. So I bailed 3 seconds after that high volume bottom wick closed. Didn't flush down red. You talking about down here? At the 1022? If we get a low, can you tell us about your pre-market trades? Yeah, sure. What's up, Invest in Muscle? Look into those nice metal garages. They go for like 10 to 20,000. Don't need concrete slab because they're a good oven, wood oven there. Oh, nice, yeah. I just made $10,000 on a funded account, 2K in options. I'm going to paper trade out the rest of the day. There you go. Beautiful trade. Beautiful money right there. Still coming off. 858 to 793. Oh, nice. That's a great entry. 858. Fantastic. That was perfectly confirmed too, Twizzy. Well done. Still coming off. $802 down to $800. Bottom wicking. What are they going to do here? What are they going to do here? I was jittery, staying on my hand, waiting on my hands, waiting for their firm. There you go. Yeah, that's a good entry. That's fantastic. Fantastic. $816. Do you prefer TPT over most props? I use funded futures. I'm an affiliate of TPT, so I very much approve of them. I also use TopStep. They don't accept affiliates, otherwise I'd affiliate with them as well. So I use TopStep and TPT. They are both fantastic prop firms. I hate that feeling. I have to tell myself to breathe. Well, patience is the name of the game. Patience is what separates people who make money from people who make a lot of money to people who only make a little bit of money. If you want to catch the big moves, you just got to let it breathe and trust the process. Got to. Remember what I said last week? Put on a position, set your stops, set your target, and then walk away from the computer for 20 minutes. See what happens. Still coming off. Hey, I haven't heard from Futures and all this stuff. What's he doing? Where's he been at? Is he here? Where you at? I'm sure he's making stacks of cash. What's up, buddy? I miss you. 803. Testing lows. Come on, baby. Give me something. Having a little bit of a bottom wick area here. See what they can do. Which time frames do you prefer to enter? 1 and 5 up to the 15. So I confirm volume on the 1. I confirm the whole move on the 5. And then if I really want a confident trade, I'll go to the 15. 15 is generally for macro direction because 15-minute is great for catching the changes in the sales. Because if you want a short, you want to make sure that the market is transitioning towards a short position. I usually want my trades, my scalps, to be in line with the general theme of the day. If the general theme of the day is blast off green, then I don't really want to be looking for many short positions. $15-minute close below 810. We can see more downside. Well, that's a great question. So We have volume support here at 787. We have volume. It's in fact that's the highest volume candle, the second highest volume candle of the day just occurred at 1022. Right here. So as long as we maintain that, the bears aren't going to have much footing. So if we wipe that 787, then you'll be looking for a move down to the low of the day. Until then, that's a high volume bounce, double bounce right here. Especially if they start taking out 846, 846 will get us back up to the high of the day. So your ranges right now are as follow: 846 for the highs, and then 787 for the lows. Whichever takes out wins. If it takes out the lows, we're going to low of the day. If it takes out the high, we're going to high of the day. Based on that volume. Coming on down, they wiped all that topside liquidity. Large red engulfing. We have a triple bottom wick here at 795. What are they going to do? Engulfings on the 5. We have 3 engulfing bottom wicks on the 5 here. This will be pivotal. Pivotal. Haven't looked at the fib on Friday's move. I have not. No, I have not. No. I pulled it for today's session. So if that's what you're asking, yes. So we've already taken out the 50, if I remember correctly. Would you say if you're not in a position already, you should probably wait? Well, it depends really. You know, we have 3 bottom wicks on the 5, all supported with volume. So this is setting up for a 3C bounce. So it really depends on how aggressive you want to play. If it the minor confirmation will be this 829 level. The overall confirmation will be 847, which will get you another 60, 70 points if we're right. A little bit of green coming up. 3 bottom wicks. Coming along. There he goes, engulfing green. 3 bottom wicks in a row with volume coming up. 830, dropping 847. We take out 847. We're going to go all the way back up. There we go. See what you can do. All right, they just tapped 847. That is your target to clear. See that big green move? 3 bottom wicks in a row. That's accumulation style on the 5-minute. And now we have up to 847. 847 will get you high of the day. That's what you need to cross. All right, I have to step out now, so I waited as long as I could. But let me go get him wrapped up, get out of here, and I'll be back. So just give me a second. Don't go anywhere. Okay, I have returned. I'm back. All right. What's up, Kennedy? So what do we have here? On little look back on when I've been gone for 10 minutes. We had the breakover 846, which led to what? Movement up to 890. So what? 40 points. Flush back down, break into it. So they're shaking out the books, but still, nice little move higher, got us back up. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Welcome back. We are back. Combination of price action and liquidity, I'll start a few ticks outside. So far, I mean, it's a nice day. 200-point range on NASDAQ, beautiful bull move, beautiful 3C short down. So we've had some beautiful action. It's a little constrained from what I thought it would be, but it's a nice move. I can't complain. Stopped out at 60. Why is it so easy today? Because the moves aren't reversing. That's what the moves are continued. That's why it seems easy, because it's following the 3Cs very clearly, and they're not having insta wicks to get you out. The moves are nicely, or they're extending, which is crucial. Coming down 800. Coming down 800. What are they going to do? Are they going to smoke this baby or what? 740 million puts. We have 800 liquidity. Especially Twizzy. What's up? What about Twizzy? All right, so look, they've got a little liquidity here at 800 here. The CVD is pretty decently red, 1600 CVD, and they're not increasing. Looking at the S&P, we have 6660. The option chain is quite bearish. Not billions, but millions bearish. Top wick. Everybody doing okay today? Anyone struggling today? Be honest, we could talk through some stuff. Still coming down, 690, 796, taking lows. They take that out. They're going to give you an opportunity to play the upside and the downside here. So they broke it and went higher. Now they're going to break this level and go lower. So they threw down my gauntlet of levels. Killing it. It's all my fault. Yeah. I'm struggling to find an entry I'm happy with, but otherwise I'm good. Nice, Chris. Struggling in general. The world is crazier than normal since 2020. It is crazy out there. Liquidity down to 6660 on ES. NASDAQ has 775. 800 million inputs, 270 million calls. About the competition, I got to the funded level on Friday, but I lost it. If I reset the funded account, will I still qualify? Yes. Yes, although I would hate for you to reset that funded simply to be in the competition, because I don't recommend resetting funded accounts unless you've taken a payout from it. But you do what you got to do. But yes, it will still count. As long as the original eval that was passed into the funded was used, that's signed up in the original time frame, that used code OMTPT, yes. $100 away from my $1,500 drawdown on TPT 50K account. Still coming down. I took way too many trades in the last couple of weeks. Didn't wait for the clearest signals. All in my losses were much smaller than my wins. That got me account. Nice. Beautiful. Nicely done, King Wayne. Took a loss this morning shorting. That's okay. Collectively, we've got a little bit of volume on the 1 minute that results in a 5-minute volume spike. So we have a little bit of volume indication as we get below this 787 level that we've noted on our chart here. If they close under this level, We'll look for the range low, which is 724. $860 million puts, $215 million calls. Dropping. What position size do you use? 5, 10 minis? I'd hope not. Still coming down, 768. 30-minute chart is nothing but top wicks. Anyone else use True Social for Trump tweets? Coming down, 24,700. I signed up for Truth Social after Kirk got shot. That's when I was expecting a pretty visceral reaction from Trump, and he didn't say a dang word about it. Guess what? Locked in the last 4 trading days on my eval since... I looked at my last 4 trading days on my eval since October 6th. Less trades, more money. Huh. I wonder how that happens, Kennedy. Well done, buddy. Well done. Murder, not just shot. Exactly. Yep. Zeroed for 2 today. Small trades, small losses. Bought puts at the bottom and calls at the top. If you want to discuss your entries, let me know the times you entered, and I'll kind of walk through it. Monday morning quarterback with you. Obviously, hindsight's 2020, but he talked about it within 24 hours at the White House. Yeah, he just didn't respond the way I anticipated. I expected him to go scorched earth, and he was like, yeah, whatever. Kind of sucks. Let's move on. Considering the guy dedicated his whole life to getting him elected. Do you use the same trading indicators from your videos 2 years ago, like the volume profile? Yep. Volume profile, yes. EMAs, no. The market has been way too crazy the last 4 years to use EMAs. In my opinion, the EMA, any value the EMAs had back up until 2020 has been reduced to nothing because just the market is so quick and the moves are so extended that the traditional method on using EMAs is not there. But then again, y'all know me, so we won't go down that road. 24,737 down to 700, still coming lower. Once we take out this low, the same concept here. We put this line here. Once we took out the low, we went up. That got you 50 points. Now that we've taken out this, we're going to come down here for an extension lower into the 720. So those are 2 key levels there. Not P levels, but key levels. Still coming lower. $758. Possible 3C short on gold. Let's take a look. Gold is possibly. We have super high volume on the 1 minute at the appropriate candle. The 5 minute is starting to come along here. So right about now is your confirmation for a 3C gold short on gold, if that is the case. I like it. NASDAQ looks like it wants 700. Extending lower. Coming on down. Accidentally dumped my protein powder into my morning coffee. I've done that before. I used to make my protein, my coffee with protein. It was horrible. I liked it. It's good stuff. Don't forget the creatine. Yeah. 755 dropping. Obviously, the price action is starting to enter into the late morning time frame where extension is a little more difficult. Price action is a little bit choppier, a little slower. I've dumped coffee grounds in my protein powder. Adds texture and builds character. Heck yeah, man. I've been two scooping my creatine. Do it. What position sizes would you suggest for a 50K TPT account eval? No more than 1 mini, and most likely in the ballpark of between 3 and 5 micros, give or take. One would eat raw eggs with dirt if it boosted his testosterone. I would. I would. I do a lot worse things than that if I could build my testosterone. Just want to confirm something. Always at the start of the markup or markdown, the move you want to see is no bottom wicks or top wicks, so the daily chart could be 15 minute or 1 minute every bottom wick falling. Yeah, so if we want to see the move into markdown, we want full extension of the red candles with no bottom wick, which is exactly what we got on Friday. We got no bottom wick, we got extremely high volume, all the indications of markdown on Friday. So that's one of the reasons why I'm still looking for distribution in my thesis to play out. Do I take TRT? No, but I'm actively looking to take TRT. But my natural levels are too high for the medical community to deem it necessary to give me TRT. So I have to go on the black market and do it. As soon as I can find a consistent, reputable source that I can rely on, then I'll do it. Tractor Supply. Yeah. I mean, yeah. You can also get your ivermectin at Tractor Supply, too. What do you think the best account size are for props? 50K eval seem easier to pass, but have always worked. I think the average trader does well with the mid accounts. The 50 to 75K accounts are the best across any business, any company. Go on the high side. They're usually, if you can get a good deal on the 150 accounts, sure, but I think they're unnecessary. They're too big for the average trader. All it does is get you a bigger position size, but you know, the 75 should be honestly the $25,000 accounts are fine too. You just have to tune your position sizing way down until you build a buffer. But once you hit the buffer, they're pretty much all the same. So 24,760 right here. We have 773 coming up. We have liquidity. We have ES at 6660. 100K top step better than the 50K. The top step count, I use the 150s on top step. So I play a little bit more aggressive with top step than I do on my personal account or TPT, simply because my buffer is large enough now. But I like the 150s. Where's Dan at? He's probably golfing. I have the, yeah, Jerry behind the Korean liquor store. It was a Taco Bell, but yeah, same thing. With his naturally high testosterone and massive gains in his fat brokerage account and his beautiful wife. Yeah, I live a hard life, man. Hard life. Horse dewormer. Heck yeah, man. Deer antler spray. Dollar per drawdown, it's the best 50K, but you pay the 149 for all their accounts. An extra 50 gives you more drawdown. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right, another top wick here. Still looking for the 724 level NASDAQ. Dropping. Seeing if we can get it. Let's see if we can get a nice little top wick acceleration lower. What's keeping the VIX around 20 today? I guess you don't want to hear positioning for more downside. Because the VIX is heading on back up, baby. The VIX was down 10% at the open. Guess what? They're only down 5% now. So from what I'm seeing here, we are not done with red. We are not done with red. With the amount of equity as Dan has in his NVIDIA position. Oh, yeah, he could golf every day. Jabroni. Love the guy. Coming on down, baby. Top wig looking for 724. $755. We have 900 million in puts, 190 million in calls. So they're shifting more and more to the put side. Top wick. There we go. Looking for 724. At this rate, AVGO and moving, I'll be in Dan in 5 years. Nice, Magabagouli. Man, you're killing it, dude. Magabagouli is killing it in life. I love it. In his 20s, getting married, doing investing. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. $767 here. We've got aggressive put buying and call selling here. 800 million. But price action obviously slowed down a bit. This community you built helped pave the way. I appreciate that, Magabagouli. Hopefully, people are learning from it. I'm so glad I'm not married, but I've got a happily married friend, so good for them. There you go. Killing at life while life is killing the rest of us. Well, economic conditions aren't the best out there, but got to play the hand life deals us. Still heading lower. The Rasky Red from Friday is playing true, baby. Playing true. Whatever happened to DJ Roomba? He is no longer with us. We technically still have him, but he doesn't. He doesn't work. What I want to do is bring it down to the shooting range and put a target on it, and just let him go back and forth through the target, so I can shoot the target. Plays tats for DJ Roomba, yeah. No trade today. Too many things happening on the home front. It's all right, Damien. I'll see you tomorrow, buddy. How's Leroy doing? Haven't talked to him in a while. Last I checked, he was doing okay. Oh man, ES wants that 6660. Nasdaq is just kind of chilling up here. Beautiful 3C short on gold. There you go. Yeah, gold's beautiful. Beautiful 3C short on gold. High volume, top wick, lower close right here, 41.19. Extension down. Beautiful. Beautiful. Nasdaq seems stronger than S&P. It is. By 0.5%, it is. ES is already bouncing off the morning low. Nasdaq is bouncing before we hit morning low, but it's pretty close. About to buy 3C bottom gold. Got a high volume there. This is what I was looking for early on gold and ended up getting stopped out for break even. That's okay. Keep applying. Keep applying. I'm going to take these off because those are no longer valid. When does Powell flap his gums? Tomorrow. We have gum flapping tomorrow. Haven't been here in a while. Where did this OM badge name come from? I assigned a new badge to the OM community. I guess you don't have to manually add it. I guess it just shows up. I don't know. You can take it off if you don't like it. It's an honor. Strength and honor. I wear it proudly. I just didn't want to give. Love it. You won't know it. I don't have one. You need to. About to head to my classes for the day. Have a blessed day. Nice, Cameron. You as well, buddy. You as well. What classes are you taking? I guess you're leaving. You're not going to answer that, but. Gold? Yep. Interesting. I mean, gold has some really clean movement with their volume. Counting 202. Yeah, I have taken that course. It's always great when you put yourself through that kind of stress with taking college courses and you use your degree for about 4 months. I remember sitting in my first job at the desk, and after like week number 2, I was like, I have made a terrible choice. I immediately regret this decision. Big liquidity added lower on gold. Nice. Love this price action. Yeah, it's fantastic. Any stocks you recommend buying? Right now, nothing. I don't have anything right now to recommend. I think we're in a down phase. But when the time comes, just load the boat with everything. Am I looking at the 1 minute on gold? I'm having issues seeing the top with high volume. Let's go take a look. Oh, the 1 minute, it's very clear. On the 5 minute, it's still clear, but it's right here. 5 minute candle, high volume top wick. It's very evident on the 1. It's not quite as evident on the 5, but it's still there. Nice math. I like it. Still coming up here. You have to maintain the upside potential as long as you don't have volume. Now, as we get into the late morning, early afternoon, you have to expect lower volume spikes. That's the whole difficulty by trading the afternoon, is that you don't get as much volume as you do in the first hour and a half. So this is why I like to bounce at about now and pick up again in the afternoon. Was that a 3C bounce on the Dow, or is it just not enough volume? Yeah, I mean, the 1 minute, yes. The 5 minute, meh. It would have been difficult to see on the 5. And then there was a volume spike, but it's difficult. You still had an incredibly large bottom wick, so I mean, you still could have played the bottom wick. You know, just you could still make these plays without all 3 Cs. It's just the confidence is derived from the Cs. That's the key. Still going. 850. NASDAQ. 100-point bounce on NASDAQ. High volume 3C bounce. You're welcome, Mark. Well done, buddy. What did the 3C stand for again? The 3 criteria, which is volume, wick, and price action. I'll send you the link to the video. There you go. 860 still going. Stop is at 62 points. Beautiful math, well done. Still going. This even had a 4th C on gold. Location? Nice. Overnight high. Beautiful. Little SR flip at the overnight high. I like it. They are buying back puts and buying calls, so the option chain is turning back bullish. I'm not worried if it plummets, but I'm holding another 46 years. It would be nice. There you go. I had Grok run discounted cash flow analysis on a bunch of stocks I was interested in and gave me some entire financial breakdown and everything. Nice. It's sort of typical on a holiday. Volatility is kind of chill relative. Yeah, I mean, they're still beautiful moves. It's just a lot slower than Friday, 100%. Even though the VIX is maintaining. The VIX are maintaining. Do I trade SPX? I do. So my brokerage account, I trade SPX. And I trade futures too, but I trade SPX options. Should have stuck to the fund instead of paper. You trade paper differently, Tristan. Be happy with it. You've had an incredible day. You don't need to trade anymore. Lock it up. Lock it up. In fact, if it's on Top Step, I want you to lock your account now. Lock it up. AI revenue engine to convert leads. Leads? These are the Glengarry leads. 870 still going. Liquidity up to 925, homie. You can maintain long until you have volume spike. What do you think, Kennedy? Right here? Is it going to do it or what? With arms wide open. Scroll down to test outlets live. What is that? Talk to AI. Yeah, I'm not going to put information in. What is it like? Take your voice and create stuff? No volume spike on this move, so let it slide higher, baby. You too, Crucio. You too. Thanks for being here. $120 from passing my second eval ever. Love it. Don't force it, Hal. Let it come naturally. Don't force it. We have liquidity at 900 on NASDAQ. We've taken out the trend line, so we can delete that. There's no volume spike here on the 5. It's basically customer service AI who answers phone calls for your business. I just put in a fake name and email, and they test a feature with an office phone. It sounds legit, pretty crazy. You'd add this feature to your business to convert phone calls into scheduled meetings. Nice. That's pretty cool. Technology's crazy, man. I hope so. I called, 2 weeks ago I called because there was a charge on my account from the internet we had at the rental house. And I had to call the company to resolve that. And I legitimately could not understand the customer service representative. There was a massive language barrier. And I finally had to say, I just can't continue with this conversation. I can't even understand you. And call back later. It's quite a lot. It's quite annoying. So it'd be nice to have something like that in those situations where you could just deal with that. $24,900 coming up to 937. I hate AI bots, chats, and automated prompts. Looks like the singer took a mouthful of rye. Hey, don't you hate on Scott Stapp, Frumple. We love Scottsdap here in this server. We don't hate on Creed. It's really cool, but it requires you to set up a meeting with the founder to set up customer service. Oh, nice. What puts my plan to buy? I'm going to keep that one for my community because I'm going to post it when when I take it. Although it's probably not that big of a deal. They are my homies. Still going 880. There's no volume spike. So we continue on. Look at that 1 minute algorithm. Strongest algorithm yet of the day. From 745 to 885. We're going. No top wick, no volume, no short. Continue on. We have 6 minutes left, so if you have any questions, let me know. Requesting my next TPT daily payout. Haven't been doing daily payouts recently because I've been focusing a lot on my personal and my top step, but I've been churning through a couple of dailies. It's been nice on TPT. Rough start, but I got my head back in the game. 100-point wins both counts, and I need to take care of the family. Infant's crying. Wife needs to sleep. Stays disciplined. Market owes you nothing. That's right. Well done, Math. Hey, lock it up, buddy. 100 points per count. It's fantastic. So don't even participate the rest of the day. You're done. Grace in Christ alone, baby. That's right. Discipline, trading, God's laws are for your own good. Does TPT have a maximum payout? None that I've found yet. No. I've taken some large payouts from them, and they have never turned me down once. No hassle, no questions asked, immediate approval. Like I'll submit the withdrawal, and they'll approve it. Sometimes it takes about 2 hours. Sometimes it's immediate. Depends on how busy they are, and then I immediately just throw it right into my bank account or brokerage account, depending on what I'm doing. But 10K is a max trade. 10K is max trade for the Pro account, not for Pro Plus. Pro Plus, it's uncapped. Pro is 10K. Then they move you into a Pro Plus. If we are funded to get pulled into a live before the end of the 30-day comp, what do we do? Yeah, Trader J asked that question. I don't really have an answer for you. If you've already had a live account, there's no way. Literally, they'll have you in a live account this next day, so that there's no problem there. If you've never been in a live account before, then it'll take anywhere up to 2 weeks to be in a funded account. So I don't really know what to do with that. Yeah, I don't know what to do with that. So I have to think about that. If that situation arises, I'll just DM me and I'll figure something out. if you're using squats and deadlifts to fix your back, will it hurt worse than before it gets better? I mean, you're going to have some stiffness there, yes, but you need to just like position sizing and trading, you need to go light. Start with lighter weights, strict form. So none of this, rounded cat back nonsense and no overextension. So strict form. Stretching is key. I will tell you though that there's more to squatting than just squatting if you're having back issues, because your feet positioning will affect how your lower back moves at the low position. If you're someone with very slim hips, and if your feet are too wide, you're going to have what's called a butt wink. At the bottom of the squat, your butt is going to turn inward, which is going to take your hips inward, which is going to overextend your lower back and pull your back. Conversely, if you have very wide hips, like myself, I have wide hips. I'm a wide frame. If I go too narrow with my feet, my butt will wink at the bottom. So I have to bring my feet out a little bit. So you have to choose where your feet go, determine how you get that little butt wink. To determine what's happening is that you record yourself from the side of profile when you're doing a squat all the way to the bottom. And if your butt curves in, like winks in, that's hard to describe it. You could probably YouTube it. If your hips are turning inward, that means your feet are improperly positioned and you're going to have a lower back issue when you squat. Who challenged him to say butt wink 10 times? Yeah. It sounds silly, but it's true. I mean, it literally cleared up all of my back issues when squatting. Because I couldn't figure out why I kept blowing my back until he showed me that and I fixed it. Boom. Now do deadlifts. If you're having deadlifting issues with your lower back, it's probably extremely tight hamstrings. So you need to loosen up your hamstrings to be able to reduce the load on your lower back. Any recommendation on stretches for that? Yeah, so if you want to do a little hammy stretches, Romania deadlifts are fantastic. Good mornings are even better, especially for stretching. You could do the typical, I forget what you call it, you put your just leg up on an elevated platform and you stretch your hamstrings that way. You could do your core stretch, couch stretch is fantastic, yes. Sitting on the floor with your feet out in front of you, legs locked. Reach out and touch your toes with your back tight, your back straight, without rounding over your back. There's a whole bunch of stuff. What did I walk into here? Little fitness advice. Sorry, I used to own a gym too, so I know I'm very passionate about fitness. So 10K is max payout for the pro. Well, not necessarily payout. You can take a bigger payout. It's the single day. It's the single day profits. If you profit more than $10,000 in one single day, like I've happened before, multiple times before. My trade will hit $10,000 profit on the single day. It'll automatically auto liquidate the account and move you into a live automatically. So you can't trade anymore once you hit $10,000 in a day. It locks it. The first time it happened, I didn't even know about that real honestly, and I'm like, what the crap just happened? I thought like, hey, did they just like mess up my account? And I was actually a little bit agitated. And then they're like, hey, congratulations, you're going to live because you just hit $10,000 in a single day. So, yeah. Recorded. There you go. They're glued to the foundation of your back. There we go. New red, new green here. Coming up to 900. What happens to the 10K you made? 500 to 5,000 of it gets locked as a buffer for your TPT, so you can't touch the 5K because that is the buffer for your live account. So they take $5,000 out, they lock it where you can't touch it. They put you in a live account. You have a $5,000 buffer, and you start at zero again, and you do your thing. The other $5,000 is yours. You pull it out right then and there. Now, you get that $5,000 back if you blow the account. Or if you want to close the account. If you voluntarily close your live account, let's just say you want to close it, you get the $5,000 back. So that is still your money. They just lock it for the buffer purpose. 0.87. My favorite exercise of all time is face pulls. Yeah. Rotator cuff and then dead hangs too. So basically your account is 10K and your new max loss becomes 5K. Yes. Can you do parallel with, what's that? I'm not sure what you mean. Frumple. Ran gym for years. Nice, J-Dog. What kind of gyms? I ran a CrossFit gym, so I was CrossFit level 1, level 2 certified before CrossFit turned into an absolute dumpster fire. I got lucky with that one too. I sold out of that gym right at the right time, right before CrossFit took a dump. I think if I would have waited 3 years, I would have got financially wrecked. Watching CrossFit games on ESPN. It was great, man. When CrossFit was in Carson, California, and then briefly when they moved to Wisconsin, it was fantastic. And then they turned into an absolute dumpster fire. Absolute dumpster fire. And then they just had their recent one in Albany, New York, and like literally the athletes were saying you would leave the facility for doing the competition, walk out, and there's dudes doing methamphetamine like right in front of you on the streets. Like it was a dump. It was a dump. I'm like, yeah, that was pretty much my experience going to Northern New York. What's your favorite ab exercise? GHD sit-ups, by far. Very effective. It will put you in a rhabdo if you're not ready for it. After that, it would be toes to bar. Toes to bar are fantastic. You do those two exercises, or if you can't do a toes to bar, just leg lifts hanging from the bar. Extraordinary. Can you do a comparison to Top Step regarding your 10K explanation? Yeah, so Top Step doesn't do the same thing with the live. So when you get moved to a live, they just put all your funds into a live account, and you have the ability to take out as much as you want. So whenever you get the email to go live with Top Step, they just put your funds into a live account, and at that point you could take out 50%, 60%, and that's it. So it's a little bit more flexibility with the Top Step Live. Meth is everywhere. Lots of meth here. You're welcome, Frumple. What happened to CrossFit? In summary, they went woke, and their athletes rejected it. Nobody watches whatever. But it turned it, and they got sold to another company or to another individual, who their programming changed. The direction they took CrossFit was terrible. It's no bueno. Micro gold trend on the micro charts. But the nail that broke, I guess the hair that broke the camel's back, whatever, was the athlete dying. They had an athlete die in the pool at one of the games, and they didn't handle it properly, and all the major athletes, the top athletes, bailed on them. Said, screw this, we're not dealing with this, and left. It is Tristan. Yep. I have to turn my volume down there for a sec. Sorry, Merc. Sorry. We're still climbing up here. No high volume spikes. So no shorting yet until you get the high volume spike. 3C, we have liquidity up to 24,950. A 3x my daily goal, so I better wrap it up. I'd be lying if I told you I won't be peeking in later. Kind of a massive sell-off, yeah. Friday and today are the two biggest days I've ever had on Top Step. So it's interesting. I've already locked everything up, so I'm done for the day of that. I'm going to keep my IBKR open for the afternoon. But I do expect shenanigans. And QU had it. Yeah, the price action has been pretty clean today. It's definitely slower than I expected, but the ranges are very clean. We're having a lot of extension, which is good for price action. That's why someone said it seems easy today. It is. Well, I never want to use the word easy in trading. I think that's a little bit disrespectful. Easier than what we've been experiencing because we have extension. That's right, J-Dog. Yeah. Disrespectful. Well, it is. I'm sure it's not easy to, when you're having a bad day and losing, it's not easy to hear, oh, the price action's easy today. Like, you want to punch the screen when you hear that. I get it. So, especially if you're listening to my voice, you'd want me here to say, oh, this is easy while you're getting slammed by 100 points. Kind of looking for a call credit spread entry, but I'm gun shy. I would wait a little bit longer, Chris, if I was going to do something like that. Just a little bit. CrossFit is a decade-plus long story of having the best athletes, but the culture obviously killing itself. I tried so many times I could never stand any of the owners I interacted with. Yep. Plus, Rich Froning, in my opinion, was the heart of CrossFit, and once he left, it kind of started to dwindle because after Rich Froning won, you had Matt Fraser start winning. He won 5 times in a row, and Matt Fraser is a fantastic athlete, but he didn't have the charisma that Rich Froning did. Rich did a lot to progress the sport, and Matt Fraser doesn't care at all to progress the sport. In fact, if you look now, Rich Froning's been retired since 2014. He's been retired from the teams now for 2 years, and he's still making daily content about CrossFit. He's still going to competitions. He's still interacting. Whereas Matt Fraser's a ghost. You haven't heard from him in 10 years. Completely disappeared, and he was the all-time winner for CrossFit. So it also helped to have him in the ranks too. And Rich Froning is a fantastic dude. I live very close to him. He's a fantastic individual. I've cursed at the stream before to read that. Yeah. Lift weights, progressive overload, plenty of protein, plenty of sleep. There you go. I would love your opinion. Sure. I typically set my max trading hour central time from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. and then 8:45 a.m. to 11 a.m. to try to be consistent and not overtrade, not be at the charts all day. I enjoy trading after hours since it's not as fast, a little more forgiving. But I'm thinking about dropping 2 of the PM sessions just as a standard. I love the Sunday night open. Would you pick a standard 2 days off? Which ones? Or would you look how active the New York session was? Yeah, I personally don't recommend trading the overnight session unless what you ended the question there with was depending on the session. If we have a very volatile setup, then I might stick around and look at the overnight session. Like this morning, for example, I was up at 4 o'clock this morning. I did some trades this morning simply because I knew that things were going to be crazy. I was actually excited to wake up and see what the market was doing. But if it's not something crazy, I won't even bother participating in the overnight session unless we're coming up on a major level. So I need to have an expectation of something happening in order for me to take a trade in pre-market. So my personal recommendation is to follow the same thing. Is just do away with the pre-market trading. Focus your time on where the iron strikes hottest, which is your time frame of 8:45 to 11 o'clock, in my opinion. If you are going to trade the pre-market session and you can swing it with your sleep schedule, London Open is your best bet for volatility. What about the Asian session? I don't really find a lot of good stuff with the Asian session, me personally. You've mentioned you're planting winter garlic. Yep, mine took 3 to 4 years before it yielded decently sized cloves. I was about to get rid of them, but decided to give one more year. We not us. We planted winter garlic last year, and we got 75 heads this year, and they're all fantastic. So we're gonna up our yield another 25 heads this year. So I'm not sure. Maybe find a different distributor for your garlic, or maybe your soil needs a little bit of mending. Palmetto State have any good deals yet? Fall clearance sale. What do they got? Nothing today. Nothing good today. My winter garlic was terrible. I put in 20 pounds, maybe got out 26. Where are you buying your garlic? What's the place called? Oh man, what's the place called? I know we ordered some from Johnny Seeds, which is pretty popular. We ordered another place. I'd have to get the name from the missus. She orders them. It's an Amish company out of Ohio. And we've had very good results with their stuff. But I'm sure you've heard of Johnny Seeds before. They're pretty popular. We order a lot of stuff from them. It could be because I get 6 feet of snow and 40-degree winters. Yeah, negative 40. Yeah, that's probably why. We have a pretty mild. In fact, most of the winter I can go outside wearing either a light hoodie or a t-shirt. We only have like a week or two of extreme cold here, so we have a pretty warm Alaska. Glocktober is in full swing. Heck yeah, baby. TPD needs to offer you a better discount. I've tried. I don't bring in enough volume for them to really talk to me like that. I've tried like having calls with them, but hey, can you give me an exclusive deal that I can offer my members? And they're like, they put it in so many words that I'm not big enough. I don't make enough revenue for them for me to be even having that conversation. So maybe if the community exploded one day, I could do that. You don't post your Lambo pics and YOLO trades. Yeah, yeah. We probably get our garlic from the same peeps. We get our seeds from Amish in Ohio. Yeah, I bet it's the same people. Let me see if I can find them. Hey, come here. Berlin seeds. That's what it is. Which is this right here. Use what? Come on, buddy. Yeah, we've had a lot of good stuff with them. If you like tomatoes, I recommend taking a look at the Amish Pastes tomatoes. They're fantastic. They're the missus' favorite. We're going to plant 50 or 60 of those plants this coming springtime alone. The winters here in Southern California are so tough. I bet. I bet. All right, steel green coming up here. We don't have a high volume wick here, so there's not a lot of sell opportunities, so we're just grinding higher. All right, I think I'm going to wrap this up. Any other questions? Any questiones? Nice little high volume top wick there. Nice little high volume top wick there. Interesting. You're welcome, buddy. Can you share hero one last time? I can. I can. So far, the bears are still controlling the hero. Hey, be on guard. Today or tomorrow, I'm going to be posting my first leg into my swing put position. I'll post it in the trades channel. So be on guard if you're looking for that sort of thing. That channel right there. We're going to see if we can have a little bit better luck this time. I came within 4 days of making an absolute insane amount of money with the meta put, and it still eats me. So maybe we have a little better luck this time. A little bit better luck. "100% the same people. We take a couple of trips a year to Millersburg, go to the farm instead." Nice, yeah. So we got them from the YouTube channel we watch. And they recommended this place, so it's been great. If you want to learn about homesteading and growing your own stuff, here I'll give you the channel. This is the one that we watch religiously, right here. TA is irrelevant now when you just have tweets. No, there's plenty of opportunity. Plenty of opportunity. Where do you get garlic to plant? I mean, pretty much every seed company will sell them. You could do, I mean, heck, one time we've even gone to Publix and got the organic garlic, like heads of garlic, and planted that, and it grew just fine. So you can get them from the store, just make sure you get organic, but even then, you don't really know what you're getting. But yeah, any seed place. That one I just posted, Berlin seeds. You can get Johnny seeds, which is popular. Anything. And you can get hard neck garlic, soft neck garlic. You can get any types of garlic. Winter garlic, spring garlic. You're welcome. You're welcome, Fritz. Do you plant the heads? No, you plant the individual cloves. So you take the heads, you break them apart, you take the cloves. The best, in my opinion, is the winter garlic. So you plant it now. You keep them under some sort of mulch or wood chips or leaves or something like that throughout the winter, and they'll sprout in the springtime. And then you harvest in about late June or early July. And I mean, they're massive. Like, you think the heads of garlic that you get, they're massive compared to what you get in the store. They're fantastic. Super easy to grow, requires almost no work at all, and very rewarding. What variety do we like? We do hardneck garlic. I'll have to look at the what. In fact, I've got a bag on the counter we're about to plant. I'll have to see what we actually get. Yep, hardneck. So the stalk of the neck of the garlic that comes into the stalk, like, that's the hard part of the soft part. That's really what it's describing. We love their cheeses, but we chipped in for neighborhood dairy cows, so betting on making our own. Nice, yeah. I want to get a farm share on some dairy. All right, y'all. I'm going to call it. I think while I eat my lunch, I'm going to kind of go through here and pick out my strikes for my put and kind of, I might go ahead and take it today. We'll see. See how I feel. I never want to take a trade on an empty stomach. You make bad decisions every time you're hungry. And I'm pretty hungry. All right, y'all. Have a good rest of the day. I will see y'all bright and early tomorrow. I'm out. See you.